My best friend confessed his love during my engagement speech. My fiancé is furious. My engagement party was supposed to be the happiest night of my life, but in the span of 30 seconds, it turned into an absolute nightmare. For context, I've been best friends with Leo since we were 5 years old. We are strictly platonic, or at least I thought we were. My fiancé, Mark, has always been a little insecure about our friendship, but he tolerates it because he knows Leo is like family to me. Or he was. Last night, we had all our friends and family gathered at this beautiful venue to celebrate our engagement. Mark was halfway through this incredibly touching speech, thanking everyone for coming and talking about our future, when Leo suddenly stood up. He looked drunk, his eyes were glossy, and he just interrupted Mark mid-sentence. Leo announced to the entire room that he couldn't hold it in anymore. He looked right at me and said that watching me marry someone else was killing him because he's been in love with me for years. The silence was deafening. I felt the blood drain from my face. I tried to laugh it off, thinking it was a sick joke, but Leo kept going, insisting that Mark doesn't know me like he does. Mark went dead silent. His face turned this terrifying shade of red, and he just slammed his champagne glass down on the table. It actually shattered, and stormed out of the venue without looking at me. I stood there completely humiliated while my future mother-in-law looked at me like I was trash. I chased after Mark, but he got in an Uber before I could reach him. I turned back to Leo and screamed at him, asking why he would ruin everything, but he just looked at me with this pathetic, puppy dog expression and said he had to take the chance. I haven't seen Mark since last night. He won't answer my calls, and his location is turned off. I feel completely betrayed by the person I trusted most, and now the love of my life thinks I'm a liar. My question to you all is, how do I even begin to fix this? Mark thinks I led Leo on. How do I prove to my furious fiancé that I had no idea my best friend was in love with me? Commenter, you need to wake up. Leo isn't your friend. He's a selfish narcissist who waited until the most public, humiliating moment possible to stake his claim. He didn't do this for love. He did it to sabotage you. Mark has every right to be furious. If you want to save this, you need to go nuclear. Leo has to be cut off permanently. No closure talks. No one last goodbye. If you hesitate even for a second, Mark is going to walk. Update, 4 days later. I wish I could say things have gotten better, but it feels like my life is still unraveling. I read all your comments, and the consensus was clear. I had to choose, and I had to be aggressive about it. I spent 2 days trying to find Mark. He finally texted me back on Tuesday and told me he was staying at his brother's house and that if I wanted to talk, I could come over. But I had one shot to explain myself. I was so anxious I almost threw up on the drive over. When I got there, he looked awful. He hadn't shaved, and he wouldn't even make eye contact with me. I sat on the edge of the couch and told him everything. I swore on my life that I never knew about Leo's feelings and that I was just as shocked as he was. I told him that I was ready to cut Leo out of my life forever if that's what it took to fix us. Mark stayed quiet for a long time. Then he looked at me and said that the humiliation of that night is something he doesn't think he can ever get over. He told me that every time he looks at me right now, he hears Leo's voice saying that he knows me better. It broke my heart. He said that the only way he'd even consider moving forward is if I blocked Leo on everything right in front of him, instantly. I didn't hesitate. I pulled out my phone, but just as I was about to open my contacts, a text message popped up on my lock screen. It was from Leo. It said, "I know you're scared, but I saw the way you looked at me when I said it. Please don't lie to yourself." Mark saw the notification. He stood up immediately, his face hardening back into that angry mask. He shouted that I was clearly still communicating with him and that I must be enjoying the attention. I tried to explain that I hadn't replied, that Leo was just spamming me, but Mark wasn't hearing it. He told me to get out. I cried and begged him to listen, but he went into the bedroom and locked the door. Now I'm back at our apartment alone. I've blocked Leo on everything,